protecting yourself can be difficult. Fortunately, there's a hotline you can call with any questions. The Department of Indian Work St. Paul partnered with the Minnesota Department of Health to open the Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline. They provide information on vaccines, booster shots, and testing sites. Right now, booster shots are available to anyone over the age of 18 for those who are eligible. The Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline can also help with housing, food, medical, and educational support. If you or someone you know has questions about COVID-19, vaccinations, booster shots, or testing, please call 651-304-9986. Again, the number is 651-304-9986. The Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline is open for calls Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call the Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline at 651-304-9986.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States, and 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected. Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf. Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy. As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired. Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
Hey, Ogimaa, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
Don't let COVID-19 spoil the fun for you or your family, so get a vaccine or booster. COVID-19 vaccines are safe, effective, free for everyone, and are now available for anyone over the age of 5. Booster shots are also recommended for everyone 12 and older if it's been more than 5 months since your previous vaccination. To get more tips, schedule your vaccine, or get tested, visit ramseycounty.us/COVID vaccine. That's ramseycounty.us/COVID vaccine.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for cloudy skies overnight with a low around 45. Thursday, partly sunny with a high near 64. And Friday, partly cloudy with a high around 65. 1984, Cafe Latte has been serving up the freshest baked goods and modern comfort food in a cafeteria setting. Their menu is prepared with the best ingredients available. Cafe Latte is a leader in sustainable dining, composting their food and paper waste along with recycling everything they can. Located off Victoria and Grand in St. Paul or at cafelatte.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be Indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hitting cut again.
Because all the hippies are trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade.
This portion of the show is brought to you by... Can we start over? Oh, no. Hey, Chunkaja Wakunja Hade. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. And we discuss local and national Twin Cities Native news and events. And as you know, Wendy, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
That's my cue. This portion of the show is brought to you by Native Roots Trading Post, located at 700 Nicollet Mall in downtown Minneapolis. We're on the first floor of the Dayton's building, and we support Native American artists.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Hey, and today we're going to have Ogimaa with the news. She's back. Already bossing her around, and she's not taking it. And then we have Nancy Beaulieu, who's not feeling well, so we're going to have her on we're only making her do one segment because her lungs messed up, so she can't breathe, but she can do a part of a segment. And then, of course, Bob Blake from Red Lake with Solar Bear with the Solar News. And then I got a picture ready to go for you with your sacred animal section. And all, as we know, all our beans are sacred to us, Wendy.
Mm-hmm.
So before, without any more ado, we're going to get to Ogimaa with the news. Welcome, Ogimaa.
Bonjour, Anin, everybody. I am Ogimaa Giniw. I am a member of the Red Lake Nation in northern Minnesota, and my name means Strong Golden Eagle Woman. I'm here with you on Native Roots Radio for some news and information for today, this beautiful spring day. I believe most parts of Minnesota finally got to see some sunshine today, and I hope that is true for our neighbors in Wisconsin and a little bit south down in Chicago. It's been a long, cold, lonely winter, as the Beatles might say. Speaking of Beatles, it is No Mow May. No Mow May is saving yourself some time and some energy this month by skipping mowing the lawn for the month of May. And you want to do this to help protect our pollinators. Mowing your lawn less creates habitat and can increase the abundance and diversity of wildlife, including bees and other pollinators, which, if you know anything about the climate crisis, bees are dying at a rapid rate, and we need bees and other pollinators to continue to pollinate our fruits and vegetables so that we can live and everyone else on the earth can live. So one way to help create this wonderful circle of life is to reduce mowing your lawn and participating in No Mow May. It is awesome, and it's just really a great way for you to take springtime to the max and just get out and save water, help your lawn become more resilient to drought. It'll reduce emissions from gas-powered lawn equipment, and you'll just get to spend more time outside enjoying the sunshine. So I hope you all take some time to participate in No Mow May. And if you're interested, Wendy Pilot had Robert and Wendy's yard turned into a pollinator garden, the front part of their yard anyway, last year. So you could contact them about, how they're experiencing that, or talk to them about it on air, ask us some questions, put it in the comments. Having a pollinator garden for your lawn is a really, really easy way to take care of our pollinators. So with that being said, May is also American Indian Month. So you can follow the page 2022 American Indian Month in Minnesota for really great events that are happening all throughout Minnesota. But the one I really want to highlight for tomorrow is that Minneapolis Public Schools is hosting Superman, the Native American rapper, tomorrow, Thursday, May 5th, 2022 at 6 p.m. at South High, which is at 3131 19th Avenue South in Minneapolis. The concert is free and open to all, and they really hope that they see you there. So that's really exciting. Again, Superman tomorrow at Minneapolis Public Schools at South High at 6 p.m. Other events that are happening for Indian Month this weekend. Let's see, tomorrow is May 5th. So May 5th, as most people know, is a National Day of Awareness for Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women. So there's a ton of events going on throughout Minnesota regarding that. I couldn't even begin to touch on the number of events. I know there's one happening in Mille Lacs. There's several happening out of the Twin Cities. But if you're looking for something for Indian Month that is MMIW related, you can definitely find those online. But McGizzy Communications tomorrow, May 5th, is going to have their Young Leaders Showcase at the Minneapolis City of Lakes, and it will be artist Inkpa Mani. And then on May 6th, the Hennepin County Library is having coffee and conversations at the Franklin Library. Division of Indian Work is having their Strong Families Community Resource Fair in their parking lot, and the American Indian Family Center is having a women's sweat. And on May 7th, the Minnesota Fund is having a financial wellness class. The American Indian Family Center is having youth services, which is Elders Lodge Garden Bed Prep. The Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center will be having ribbon skirt and shirt making for Minneapolis 2022 graduates. And there will be the 21st annual Mother's Day traditional powwow in the Twin Cities as well. So those are all some really exciting events you can hit up in the Twin Cities this weekend for American Indian Month. As always, I want to touch on what's happening environmentally here in Minnesota. And we definitely want to touch on what's happening this week. What's happening this week, yesterday, today, and tomorrow are the hearings regarding the Fond du Lac Band of Lake Superior, Chippewa, and their formal objection to the federal Section 404 wetlands permit issued to Polymet by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. The band has provided scientific evidence that shows that if built, the Polymet mine would violate the band's water quality standards by increasing the level of mercury and sulfate in the St. Louis River, which would then affect all of the Mmiw or wild rice going down the St. Louis River from there. This is a one-of-a-kind hearing in terms of both the Polymet cases and a tribe's right to object to a Clean Water Act permit under this section of law. The process is happening non-publicly, so the hearings are being aired online via live stream on YouTube for May 3rd and 4th, which was yesterday and today, and they'll involve testimony from federal agencies, the Fond du Lac Band, and Polymet. I'll put the link for the YouTube videos up in the comments for people. And then on May 5th, from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time, the public can comment by telephone. The lines will open 5 minutes before 4 p.m. Central. The dial-in number is 888-251-2949. The access code is 9646123#. Written comments will also be able to be submitted to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers for 30 days after the hearing. The written comment period ends June 6th. So make sure you take some time to write a letter, to make a phone call, to talk about your support of the Fond du Lac Band against the Polymet copper mining. Speaking of mining, if your community has experienced adverse effects from mining in the U.S. or Canada, make sure you go over to IEN, the Indigenous Environmental Network's website, and take a look at their mini grant. They're having the IEN WMAN Grassroots Communities Mining Mini Grant Program. The cycle is open and applications are accepted until June 1st. If you are interested on grant guidelines and more information, go to wman-info.org/programs/mini-grant-program. And I will put that in the comment section as well. The next cycles for this mini grant will also be in October and February, October 2022, February 2023. And then coming up Saturday, May 14th, Honor the Earth is having a Huber Mill Town Hall with Annie Humphrey and David Huckfeld. So if you don't yet know, the Huber Mill is a toxic wood processing mill set to happen in north central Minnesota. You can find out more as to how to protect our Minnesota forests by going to protectmnforest.org to find out more information, or you can turn up to the town hall for some live music at the Ely Historic State Theater on Saturday, May 14th at 6 p.m. and see some live music from Annie Humphrey and David Huckfeld and help honor the earth, raise some money to help fight the Huber Mill and find out more information. And again, that's going to be at the State Theater at 6 p.m. on Saturday, May 14th.
Hey, wow. There was Ogimaa with the news. Pinigigi Ogimaa. We'll be right back with Nancy Beaulieu, Wendy.
Yeah, great. Stay with us.
J&S Bean Factory is a native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
When we heal from our traumas,
when we face our fears,
let go of our addictions,
when we relearn our values,
when we live our teachings,
respecting our elders,
cherishing and honoring our children,
when we honor and take care of our spirit,
there will be no room left for sexual violence.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, Ogimaa, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
Even though things are getting better, COVID-19 is still around and a threat to our public health. To best protect yourself, make sure you continue to wear masks in high-traffic areas like concerts, sporting events, or crowded indoor buildings. Wearing masks can help prevent severe illness and reduce the strain on our hospitals and healthcare workers. Wear a mask with the best fit, protection, and comfort for you. This message is brought to you by the Native American Community Clinic. Find more COVID information by calling 651-304-9986.
Bonjour, I am Oshawashko Gijig. I'm from Red Lake Nation, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake.
This portion of the show is brought to you by MN350, a grassroots organization fighting for climate justice.
Yeah, justice. You know, that's the key word now, especially with what's going on all over creation here.
Roe v. Wade. That's really, I can't even describe it. It's like anytime I hear news about it and what's happening with it, it shocks you. It shocks me. It sends like a shockwave through my whole body.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, we were reading about Nancy. And Nancy wasn't feeling well yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And so today I rattled her cage to get on, and I'm going to have her talk about what's going on and then also an event that she needs some support on. So we're going to get Nancy Beaulieu on from Bemidji 350, MN 350, and just all around groovy person. Welcome, Nancy Beaulieu.
Bonjour, Robert. It's good to be back. I kind of fell under the weather, have a infection to my lung, my right lung, but the good news is I'm still going to be around. Yay for that. And I just want to share a little bit of something before I forget. You know, it being Native Peoples Month, we also have the MMIW awareness, I do believe. And tomorrow in Bemidji, from 12:30 to 6 p.m., the Bemidji National MMIW Awareness Day, and that's hosted by MMIW 218, and that's from 2:30 to 6 p.m., and we are going to walk from the Sanford Center over to Paul and Babe on the lakeshore there, and then we are going to have speakers, singers, and food, so please wear red and bring your signs, and we encourage people, because we do know COVID is still out there, so please mask up and social distance.
Paul and Babe or maybe our people in Wisconsin don't know who you're talking about, but who's Paul and Babe?
Oh, that it's a folk story, that these colonized people like to glamorize, and basically they say Paul, his footprints left all these lakes in Minnesota. That's part of the story, and
because he's a big giant.
Basically, he chopped down the forest.
Yeah, and now we have climate change. Thank you, Paul and Babe the Ox.
Right. So, anyways, the exciting news, Robert, we were busy last Saturday in Cass Lake, Minnesota, the Leech Lake Reservation. I'm kind of running out of breath, so please bear with me. We had the Senate District 2 convention, and we had endorsements for 2A and 2B, and we also had some officers being sworn or elected. Alan Roy, White Earth, 2A, won the endorsement unchallenged, and he's White Earth, I did mention that. Erica Bailey Johnson at Red Lake in Rowley. She's also the sustainability professor at BSU. She got the 2B endorsement, and she was challenged by Jeremiah Lean, who is a non-Native ally, and it was a hard day, Robert, to have two such wonderful candidates. But of course, being Native, we had to support our relatives because That's our goal here, is to help our relatives and also our allies to run for office and be the voice and the change that we need. So we've seen so often in the past where we didn't have enough of us, playing the colonized world of politics. We're finding out this is actually a good way to show up. So some of us are willing to step it up and show up at these conventions. And on Saturday, some of the Senate District 2 officers sworn in were Mike Simpkins of Bemidji. He is a non-native ally. We had Christine Bowstring, Leech Lake, Vice Chair. We have Christian Taylor Johnson, a Leech Lake descendant, our outreach officer. And myself, I'm serving as an alternate to the State Central Committee. So, showing up and working hard, it does pay off. And I think we're learning how to play this game really good. And I think if we keep this momentum going, we're going to play it better than them. And when you think about the Roe versus Wade deal, we got people saying we can't make them wear masks, but they're also telling us we can't have an abortion. There's hypocrites out there. So I'm encouraging people, no matter what it takes, show up to the primary election and to the general election, so that we're going to show up and we're going to teach people how to do that.
Absolutely. Wendy was besides herself in Ogimaa yesterday, and we had a good report from Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan from Wendy, interviewed her over at the action.
The federal government building in downtown Minneapolis. So
we're all up in arms and ready to go. And they thought that after the orange one was elected, there was 1 million women in DC protesting with those cool hats and all over Turtle Island. So we're looking forward to that again and to amplify and get going here.
Right. And I think, this is a good time to make a stand. And I think we need everyone to go out there and stand in solidarity. You don't have to take direct action, but just show up in a physical being as a good soul and support those that amplify our concerns. And, I'd be one of those kind of people, but I can't always be there. But there are people out there fighting other causes, and we got to find ways to make sure that we support their work too, because all this stuff is important. And, again, this Saturday, we have to travel as a delegation. We call ourselves the We Are All Treaty People delegation in the DFL party. And we are going to be traveling to Evelyn, Minnesota. And the intent is to support DFL candidates for U.S. Congress and also for U.S. Senate, Minnesota executive offices, and our state legislative and Senate seats. So my goal, again, is to do a land acknowledgement and a little treaty 101, because, no matter where we show up, Robert, we need to talk about to our friends, relatives, family, neighbors, that we're all treaty people. So I show up with good intentions, with a strong heart, and I speak to the audience before we get started to say, hey, we're all treaty people. And I'm excited for that. And again, we have to get up early in the morning, and we're going to go there and we're going to work hard again. And what we need support for, most importantly, is the state convention in Rochester. Yeah.
Let's talk about that right now.
Right. And I'm going to share a link in the chat. Yeah. So, Robert, we're going to report live from there, correct?
Yes, we are. We definitely are. I think it's under wraps. We're not supposed to say anything, but it's secret. But I think AM 950 is going to be there, and so are we. So it hasn't been announced yet.
It's still a secret.
Yes.
So everybody,
I think we just did that. My apologies. But So we got Joey Peltier from Turtle Mountain, the Pemona tribe, and we got Christian Taylor Johnson, descendant of Leech Lake, myself, Leech Lake, and then we have Tyler, Joey's husband, who is our non-native ally. And of course, we're all treaty people. And I believe Gina Peltier is going to be tagging along, and maybe a couple others, but we're going to come to the convention, and we are going to stand strong on our treaties and keep building that awareness. And we're also going to defend our treaty resolution. So our hope is to call the treaties to the floor, and we have to run a petition for that, and we would need 126 signatures, unless they change those numbers, of a delegates to call it to the floor. That being the case, we could speak to the treaties and encourage people why they should support that resolution, just like we did in 2018, Robert, with Joey Vidal. We worked really hard to get the treaties called up for special consideration, and I was quite honored to speak to the treaties. Got a standing ovation, never imagined this was going to happen.
Wow.
But most importantly was that we got it on the action agenda for that party. And we want to work hard to keep it there, and we want to work harder to get them on the main platform. So we have a ways to go, and we can't do that without the support of our people or our allies to help get us there. And we did our budget the other day, what it's going to cost us to go to Evelyn, what it's going to cost us to get to Rochester, and we have a ballpark figure of $3,000. So we have a GoFundMe out there just for the $3,000, nothing more. We just only need what it takes to get there, and we look for everyone's support to help our all treaty delegation to make it to the convention.
Awesome. Can you tell us what the GoFundMe page is before we let you go?
Yeah, I did share it in the chat, and again, it's we are all treaty people delegation from northern Minnesota that's going to go to the state convention. We want to work hard to get our treaties resolution on the floor. We want to just speak to everybody there in the most powerful way and ask for support for those treaties, because in the end, Robert, the only thing that's going to save all of us, native and non-natives, all living things, is probably our treaties and our way of life. Like, we got to go burn down, have a burn down and get rid of the dead and bring back the new. We have old ways of taking care of Mother Earth, and capitalism took that all away, but we have to find our way back. And even running for, resolutions and all that does matter, because policy and legislation affects the way we're treated. So the good news is we're getting a good reception for our non-native allies and tons of support, and we're just going to keep showing up and working hard.
Perfect. Hey, all treaties, we're all treaty people. GoFundMe. Peeny Gigi, take care of yourself. We'll talk to you next week. Take those antibiotics and some good native medicine. We are all treaty people. We'll be right back after this short break.
Stay with us.
Things may be getting better, but COVID is still around. Stay healthy and up to date on your COVID vaccinations and boosters. Right now, everyone 5 and older is eligible to get a vaccination, while everyone 12 and up is eligible for their booster shot. Plus, you're eligible for a second booster if you're over 50 or received an initial booster dose at least 4 months ago. Getting boosted increases your protection against severe disease from COVID-19. Find a vaccination site by calling 651-304-9986.
Life is a journey, and the Doherty Family College will help you get where you want to go. Located downtown Minneapolis, this affordable 2-year college provides free textbooks, a laptop, meals, career coaches, one-on-one mentorship, and a Metro Transit pass, making DFC the perfect pathway to a bachelor's degree. Turn your dreams into reality. Connect with a counselor today at dfc.stthomas.edu.
Navigating COVID while protecting yourself can be difficult. Fortunately, there's a hotline you can call with any questions. The Department of Indian Work St. Paul partnered with the Minnesota Department of Health to open the Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline. They provide information on vaccines, booster shots, and testing sites. Right now, booster shots are available to anyone over the age of 18 for those who are eligible. The Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline can also help with housing, food, medical, and educational support. If you or someone you know has questions about COVID-19, vaccinations, booster shots, or testing, please call 651-304-9986. Again, the number is 651-304-9986. The Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline is open for calls Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call the Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline at 651-304-9986.
Tom Hartman here, and you can catch the Tom Hartman Show during your lunch break from 11 to 2 every weekday right here on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
It's an absolute must for any true foodie. Vinaigrette at 50th and Xerxes in South Minneapolis offers premium oils and vinegars for the most discriminating of tastes. This is Sarah Piepenberg, owner of Vinaigrette. We bottle on site, there's no guesswork, and you get to taste test each and every oil and vinegar we offer. Our direct relationship with the growers ensures an uncompromised level of satisfaction. When you need to know you're cooking with the finest ingredients, first contact the independently owned Vinaigrette, 50th and Xerxes in South Minneapolis. Online at vinaigrettemn.com.
Have you heard about the District Edina? Well, if you haven't, you're in for a treat. The District Edina is the Twin Cities' newest and most exciting destination for all things home design and remodeling. If you're looking for flooring or window treatments, furnishings, a builder to handle a remodel or an addition, kitchen or bath work, or even original fine art, you will find it at the District Edina. The District Edina, 7777 Washington Avenue South, and online at, wait for it, thedistrictedina.com.
Are you looking to sell your current vehicle? If so, take it to the dealership that will treat you right. Rudy Luther Toyota. You might be saying, but I didn't buy my vehicle from Rudy Luther. No worries. Rudy Luther Toyota is looking to buy vehicles. Your vehicle might be worth more than you think. Let their staff look at your vehicle and give you a price. The process couldn't be easier. No appointment needed. Just take your vehicle to Rudy Luther Toyota and tell them you're looking to sell. And if you're looking for a new or certified pre-owned vehicle, browse Rudy Luther's inventory. Rudy Luther Toyota, 5 miles west of Minneapolis on 394.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for cloudy skies overnight with a low around 45. Thursday, partly sunny with a high near 64. And Friday, partly cloudy with a high around 65.
Don't waste hours figuring out how to pick up and assemble your own grill. Leave it to the specialists at Warner Stellian. Choose from the hottest new grills. Then don't pay a penny more for professional assembly, delivery, or haul away. Shop now at warnerstellian.com.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is brought to you by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Yeah, we'll be seeing our friends with Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition tomorrow, because there's going to be a walk in Boom Island in Minneapolis and a ceremony at 10 tomorrow morning that I'll be at, and you'll be flying to New York at our other studio in New York, doing live shows there. So yeah, we have Bob Blake, and Robert Blake is the owner of Solar Bear. So we do a cool little thing called the Solar Bear with the Solar News, and just have a really positive talk about what's happening and Robert's kind of a fortune teller. He's going to tell us what the future looks like, and it's always pretty bright here on Wednesday. So welcome, Robert.
Robert, I that is like, it's interesting you bring that up, because I was just thinking, I saw an article today, and I'm going to talk about it, but it was about the electric grid, our electric grid all across the country, and how, we're going to put a lot of money into this. The government's going to put a lot of money into this, because, this is a national security threat now, and so it's really interesting. I remember talking about this in grad school, and I remember a couple of my a professor of mine was kind of like, she shrugged it off like it was funny. And like I was trying to be some type of, what do you call, maybe, instigator of like disinformation or something. But I really believed in that then, and I believe in it now. And I think it's so interesting now that, and that I believe it's great that, the federal government is making some moves on this, about getting our transmission lines ready to haul renewable energy.
Yeah, definitely. And it's swirling around. And I think one of the things that I've been experiencing is that people are in denial and probably not thinking about it. And then when they think about it, it's like too much. But we got movers and shakers like you, and a lot of nations out there, native nations, that are doing some good work with solar and becoming really good for not only their economy, but good for the ecology of Mother Earth.
Oh, absolutely. And, I'm going to say this, Robert, and everyone, you've heard it here. You've heard the Solar Bear say it right here on Native Roots Radio. But we will never accomplish our climate goals in this country if we don't allow Native nations to lead the way. And what I mean by that, Robert, is that we can do things in tribal country that others can't do out here in the real world. You know what I mean? Not the real world, but in this space where there's all these there's all this regulation and whatnot, and what that means, Robert, is we could take entrepreneurs, renewable energy entrepreneurs and investors, test out their technology in tribal country, and when they're ready to scale it up, they could do so a lot quicker because they have a market that is already using their products. You know what I mean? So, and that means also too investments into tribal country, right? Because we're also going to be able to create jobs around manufacturing in these communities. So listen, everyone, we're not going to, here's the bottom line. If we're going to leave it up to the politicians to make sure that we meet our climate goals, it's never going to happen. We have to rely on tribal sovereignty. We have to leverage it to go ahead and meet our climate goals.
And I see that happening, there's nations out there that are really in the forefront of this. And I know you've worked with some, and I know we talked about this over a year ago, what Red Lake is doing with their solar farm up there and all the other stuff that you're working hands-on with. It's just exciting to have you on and talk about that, but also just the crazy stuff like schools. We need, things that we talk about every week, Robert.
Yeah, and the infrastructure bill, Robert, I was just on a panel and we were talking about the infrastructure bill and how much of that is going to energy efficiency, and here's what I want everyone to understand. $1 billion up front, right, is going to save us trillions down the road. That is just the truth. $1 billion up front is going to save this country trillions and trillions of dollars down the road. So I really want to see this country double down on this. I really want to see this country move forward. I was told that at the DOE they have upwards of 1,000 positions available. So people, if you want to be a part of the climate fight, if you want to do some good, and you feel like you want to get on the front lines and fight the most, I believe, the most existential crisis of our time, human beings in our entire history, then go apply to the Department of Energy and get a job and help us move this, because we're going to need everyone and anyone to help us, get a hold on the climate crisis, Robert.
All hands on deck, and I can't wait for our solar panels to come in that solar car that you're gonna steal from Red Lake for us so we can go back and forth from Ho Chunk. I'm excited.
Well, let me start with the first story there, Mr. Pilot. Speaking of the Department of Energy, okay, there's been a lot of talk about what's happening in Russia and Ukraine, and about fossil fuel exploration, about more permits giving out and whatnot. Here's the deal, okay? And I want everyone to listen to this. Fossil fuels are gone. They're dead. It's over with. I mean, the amount that it takes to build a coal plant, a nuclear energy plant, Robert, and the amount that it takes to build a solar field, that cost for that energy is so incremental to the payback of these plants. So the story coming out of here is the Biden administration is doubling down on U.S. Offshore wind, and they're going to be having wind farms as far as the eye can see. It sounds like here on the East and West Coast. So I imagine over there in New York, Wendy is going to be looking out her window, and she is going to be looking at all the offshore wind farms that are going to be there someday. But
well, that's Well, the last time I was in New York, it looked like these oil rig things out in the ocean, and I said to somebody, "Oh my gosh, what is this?" And they said, "No, they're testing the floor of the ocean to put some wind power there." So
Wow.
I don't know how far or how close up they will be to the shore. Hopefully, they'll be out a ways, but
Where
we'll
it's
see.
really windy.
Yeah.
Wendy.
Yeah.
I love it. Wendy. All right. Robert, and I want to give everybody a quick update because I love being able to look at the clock now. This is awesome, you guys.
4:14.
By the way, I love this. And I just want to talk real quick about the anti-dumping investigation that's currently been happening in California around solar panels. So here's the deal, everyone. The solar panels. This investigation was asked by a small company in Southern California, and basically what they were saying was, there are some bad panels coming from Asia. Okay, well, the industry gets a lot of solar panels from overseas. Okay, and the one thing that I want to say about this is, here's the deal: like, you can't have senators right now are asking for this investigation to stop because it's holding up solar projects all across the country right now. Companies are having to lay off people. Other companies can't get solar panels. I mean, this is going to be probably one of a year that is not going to generate as much solar this year because of this investigation. And here's the deal: we can't let some little company hold up the entire industry like it's happening right now. So, if you're out here and you're interested in this, contact your senator, contact your representative, and just say that you support, them getting rid of this investigation that's currently happening around these solar panels, because it's ruining the industry right now, Robert. It really is. And I just don't know how one little company can do this, right? And I understand they have their obligations, they have their rights, but I just don't see how this is happening. Now, do I think there could be some nefarious forces behind this, trying to trip up the renewable energy industry? Well, Solar Bear thinks so. But this is a bogus investigation. But it's happening right now, and it's really tripping up the industry right now, Robert.
Wow, that's a bummer. And that's you heard it here. Talk to your senators and representatives about this, and let's move it on. I mean, they can still investigate this, but they don't have to close the doors on all these other solar panels. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I want to tell the guy right there who was talking about making solar panels right there here in the United States, up in Iron Mountain, Minnesota. Haleen has got a manufacturing facility up there. Let's go ahead and let's buy Haleen solar panels so we can put some Minnesotans up on the Iron Range to work, and create some good jobs up there. And by the way, I've worked with Haleen solar panels before, guys. I've installed them. It's a great product.
Let's do it. Let's get those on the pilot's rooftop here. Maybe surprise Wendy when she comes back from New York, her special mission in New York, with some solar panels on here.
And then Robert, real quickly, the last story I just want to say, there's talk in the Biden administration to double down on EV chargers all across the country, because they're saying that we're not going to have enough EV chargers for everyone for it to go around. And I agree with them. We got to put more emphasis into EV chargers, and that's why Native Son Community Power Development is building the intertribal electric vehicle charging network from the Twin Cities to Red Lake to Standing Rock back to the Twin Cities.
Right on. Wow, what a great way to end it, Robert. Thank you so much. That's the Solar Bear with the solar news. You're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and thanks, Robert Blake.
Stay with us.
Hey, Wendy, what are we doing for dinner after the show?
How about we go to J. Selby's on 169 Victoria Street in St. Paul? They have a delicious plant-based menu that's compassionate and environmentally sustainable.
I'm getting their spot-on vegan Big Mac, the dirty secret.
You can pick up and they deliver within a 5-mile radius, or you can call them at 651-222-3263 or visit jselbys.com.
Well, you sold me, Wen. Let's go order at J. Selby's tonight.
I'm hungry.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States, and 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected. Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf. Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy. As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired. Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
Hey, Ogimaa, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
Minneapolis Public Schools have a variety of positions available to help you start your career in education, and they want to hire you. You can work in the classroom as a teacher or a classroom support, or you can work outside the classroom as a bus driver, in the Culinary Wellness Center, or as a custodian helping keep the building safe and sanitized. Multicultural candidates are strongly encouraged to apply. Start your career in education and apply today. jobs.minneapolis.k12.mn.us.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations.
Oh, I heard the baby howling in the back.
Oh, little baby Nova Lee.
She's still howling.
I know, that's so cute.
That's awesome. Hey, we're here with our sacred animal section and our sacred being. These are our relatives, and Wendy talks about them so much here for the last 5 years on Native Roots Radio, and I just learned so much. And take it away, Wendy.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. My name is Hanajihi Hani, and that means cares for them. I was given that name by my Dega Curtis, and Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajinga, which means walks on white clouds. I'm a humane policy volunteer leader for the Humane Society of the United States, and I work on animal issues at the local and state level, and it's always my pleasure to do that. I have a couple of things going on. Before I get to the main story, I'm friends with Sir David Attenborough on Facebook.
Wow.
And if anybody you don't know who he is, he's an English broadcaster. He's a biologist. He's a natural historian and author, and he cares really a lot about the environment and the planet and animals, and he posts a lot of fun stuff. So today I was just kind of like, I saw his post. So he was, the holly leaves. It has like little red berries. It's kind of like a Christmassy type of plant. It's called the holly plant.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So
I learned something new.
Right. So here, I'm going to put this up. I should have given this to you, but I didn't know I was going to talk about this. Okay. So the holly plant normally has straight, flat leaves. They have straight, flat leaves. But if the deer come around and eat these leaves, what happens is the gene switches in the plant. And when the leaf grows back, it grows back prickly.
Wow.
So that the deer can't eat the leaves. Nice. And that if you look at a holly tree or holly bush, I don't know what it is, all the leaves on the bottom will be the prickly ones, but the ones high up where the deers can't get will be all nice and smooth.
Rounded,
isn't that wonderful how nature is just unbelievable?
I think that's just unbelievable. But I was really excited to find this story. Again, I talked about this a year or two ago, or maybe even 3 years ago. It's been that long, but as an update, this is back from April 22nd, but I was so excited to see this update. But it's about bald eagle trio. So 3 bald eagles are raising their babies together, which is something really amazing. And these eagles come from Illinois, an Illinois nest. So there's 2 male bald eagles, and they've been seen assisting a mother bald eagle in keeping her eggs warm in the nest. But the thing that's so unusual about the story is that bald eagles are very territorial, and bald eagle pairings are monogamous as well. So that's another thing that's really surprising about this. As a result, this nest, which is located on the Upper Mississippi River National Wildlife Refuge, is rather unique. It's also not the first time they've raised eaglets together. I've talked about them a couple of years ago. According to the stewards of the Upper Mississippi River Refuge, a nonprofit group that, among other things, provides a live video of the nest, this trio has been together since 2017. However, the 2 boys, who are called Valor 1 and Valor 2, have been together for a longer time. They've been together since 2013. And they started off as rivals. Valor 2 attempted to dethrone Valor 1 as king of the nest, but Valor 1 refused. Hope, a female, was already in the nest at the time. And in 2014, she and both Valors reared 2 eagle chicks together. So Valor 1 and Valor 2 were both observing mating with her. The trio was again observed taking care of the nest the following year. And I talked about these eagles a while ago. So I think that it's just such an unbelievable story, and I was really glad to get an update in April. But they've all been together since 2017. So
Did you see what Nina put up? She was wondering if they were brothers.
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know if the people who wrote the article know that, but they say they were rivals. So they could maybe be brothers. I don't know. I'm going to
Ogimaa said that they're progressive eagles. Very progressive on I like that, Ogimaa.
And I love, how like polygamy, it's usually the man who has multiple wives. I love it. That's the wife who has the multiple husbands. I think that's pretty cool.
That's weird. That's the only thing I didn't like about it.
That's hilarious. I know. There's one other thing I wanted to talk about. So that's the story of the bald eagle trio. You could probably look them up. They're in Illinois. They have a nest and they're being watched. So I think it's really cool. Another thing that I just like to remind people is totally switching gears here is about dog adoptions. So I saw a couple of people online saying, oh, I just adopted this dog and oh my God, what's happening. And, the dog needs time to settle down. So these are the general rules about how a dog will follow, oh, that's my dog. She's coughing. Oh my gosh.
She needs attention.
So I remember when we adopted our dogs, Wanda, Gracie, and Emma. And at first, when we got them all, again, we were like, oh my God, what did we do? It's crazy. But here's the thing. And this is true. So it takes 3 days to decompress. So within the 3 days that the dog comes to your home and they're new, they're feeling overwhelmed. They may feel scared and unsure of what's going on. They're not comfortable enough to be themselves. They may not eat or drink. They feel shut down, or they'll hide under the furniture, and they're going to test boundaries. So that's like the first 3 days. 3 weeks. So after 3 weeks, they learn your routine. So that's what the dog's going to learn. The dog will learn your routine. routine. Yep. And they'll start settling in. They'll start feeling more comfortable. They're going to realize at this point that this could be my forever home. They're going to be able to figure out his environment, his or her environment. They'll get into a routine because they're going to follow what you do. The dogs will always follow what you do. They'll let their guard down. They may begin to show their true personality. And their behavior issues at that point may start to appear because they're feeling a little bit more comfortable and they're going to show their real true colors. But 3 months, at 3 months, they start to feel at home, finally feels completely comfortable in his home, begins to build trust and a true bond, and gains complete sense of security with his new family and sets into a routine. Now, that's just a general rule. I mean, most dogs, they're all different. So some dogs will take longer than others. And I think because we adopted 3 at the same time, it took us a little longer because I remember saying it took around 5 months. I really think it took like 5 months for all 3 of them to really like settle in and know the routine and know what's happening and that we're their people, right? We would let them out in the backyard. We have a fenced in yard. It's small to go outside. They wouldn't come when we called them. They would hide under the bushes. We'd have to go out there with flashlights and like carry them back in the house because they didn't know. So for anybody out there who's thinking about adopting a new dog, and this goes for cats too, cats are different too. Give them time. They need time. They need to figure out what's going on and, where their place is in the house and how they're going to settle in. Our cat Princess we got also, and I remember Princess, our cat stayed in our closet for 3 months.
Yep.
She would go in there and out, and just eat and use the kitty litter and go back in there. So give them time. They need time.
They do. And I want to give you some applause here. Thank you again for the sacred animal section.
Yeah, thanks so much. I appreciate it. I love doing it.
Yes, definitely. Hey, and thanks to Nancy for coming on with her one lung infected. And then, of course, Bob Blake, who loves the clock, the new clock that we got shown for everyone. And, of course, Ogimaa, who's running the show from behind. We're still here. We are the 7th generation.
Free Leonard Peltier.
Do yourself a favor and check out the amazing cuisine of eatlocalminnesota.com. More than just